Good day, everybody. This is Robin Johnston, your independent candidate for 2025. I see all the parties getting their the list of all the voters roll, the hard copies. Unfortunately for us independents, we're not privileged to that, which I find that if you are having free and fair elections in a country, then independent candidates who go through the procedures or whatever they have at the Electoral Commission, they are in place, but we only get it once once it's for nomination day. So basically, it's like an apartheid kind of system. It's a bit racist, I would say. It's against free and fair elections in a country. So I think that's one of the things that I'm going to change, or I'd like to change, that everybody should be treated equally because we're all equal under the Constitution. And when you start making regulations like they have in the Electoral Commission, then it's against the Constitution, I think. Anyway, it doesn't balance with the Constitution of what free and fair elections mean. So yeah. Anyway, back on this beautiful beach again of Seychelles, Grand Dance. I just heard on the radio, on Pure FM, that it's Autism Day or something like that. Now, how many people understand what autism is? And how many people believe that it's just a natural phenomenon? But when we used to get the vaccines when we were kids, when I was a kid, we had the mumps. I don't think we had a mumps vaccine, but if we did have one, it was separate. Then we had the measles vaccines, which they brought in because they thought, no, we don't want kids getting measles in schools. So they created vaccines for measles. And then they had the other one, rubella. I think it's or rupel or rubella, whatever it is. So it's MMR. And what they did was they put all those vaccines together and they started giving the kids. There is so much evidence today that children with autism, as soon as they got that MMR vaccine, their lights went out. Zotin been autistic. They got autism. There are cures for that because this vaccine apparently destroys the bacteria, natural bacteria in the stomachs, and if you can replace those bacteria and all that, usually the autism will go. You'll cure that autism. But I don't know. This is you have to do your research. But we can talk about 20, 30 years ago. How many people knew about autism 20, 30 years ago? Cina pasa autism. Napa na sa autism. Le MMR vaccine in Sochi, autism went straight up, an increase. Then it was 1 in 1,000. Now autism is 1 in 35 people. Yan ay problem sa. Autism problem. From rare to common. You understand? From rare, was very rare to get this problem, autism, and now it's everyday common problem. So 1 in 35 children are going to get autism because they're taking that MMR vaccine. If you separate the vaccines, if you want to give your kids the vaccines, don't give them the MMR vaccine. Give them individual vaccines at different stages of their lives. They're a little bit older. COVID, man, like hepatitis. As soon as the baby's born, they inject the babies with an injection. But man, come on, man. Nu pa lab rats nu. Peggy Vidot, you're a minister of health. Why are you making everybody into lab rats? You see, this is what I'm trying to tell everybody. Mopeji Zot, man. The WHO is a criminal syndicate. It's a cabal. Saban deep state sakuyonads. You know, you think I'm a conspiracy theorist. I'm not. There's 10 lists that I posted before. I'll post it again. Number 10 is about freedom of speech and censorship. Belala, qui gagne avec Monsieur Bernard Sullivan? The number 10, il gagne baiser avec ça. Because our government, the LDS and Wavell Ramkalawan, is a globalist. He's kissing the backsides of the globalists because he's got no idea what he's doing. Beolili. These people don't know how to run a country, Mojizot. When you arrest people like that for Bernard Sullivan, when you do the things that the WHO instruct you to do, you know you're not being run by our elected people. They're being run by somebody else. We're being run by the globalists. Saban globalist agenda sa, passe sel sa. Panu pays, punu pays sa. Pour globalists. You know, I want to talk about things that we're going to benefit for the country. You know, and that's what I'm saying. When it comes to health, and when Pure FM talks about autism, the first thing is stop the MMR vaccine. Arrête d'onzot comme ça. Make it separate, 111, pas Assam. Because when it's together, it's dangerous. Upu faire au petit malade, man. Upu faire au petit gars autism. Là, ou pas COVID vaccine. Upu gars malade. COVID vaccine, il y a un problème avec sa COVID vaccine. Pfizer, pas Pfizer, the other one is Moderna. It's worse than that. You know, il y en a quelque chose mal avec sa vaccine. And là, comme là, et t'as dit moun pour gagner cancer, et t'as dit moun pour gagner heart problems, and young people, not old people, young. Combien de moun in more là? Dans sa paix. Every day somebody's dying. You okay ça avec Jimon? Avec nous pep? You LDS people, are you okay with what's going on? You tell me to Femla Bus, you insult me as well. You also have hate speech, and you guys. Like there's one couillon who was accusing me of being a total drunk. But he doesn't know anything about me. But what do you do with that guy like that? You leave him alone. You just say, that's just a fool. Because he knows nothing. You know? So you leave those people alone. But then, like sticks and stones may break your bones, but words will never harm you. But these words that irritate the couillons that we've got running the country anyway is because they're doing such a useless job. What progress have we made? The only progress that's made is all these foreign investors coming and destroying our islands. Platte Island is a destruction. Assumption will be a destruction. And the EIA is the most, I would say, the most corrupt institute because they approve everything. They approve everything. Salah sa propose ça. And the Seychelles, I don't know, island foundations or whatever these people. That you need to more. You need more. You need more balls. You know, if we want foreign investment to come in here, or we don't have enough money in this country. What do? We can go and borrow the money at lower interest rates if we can. So it's not about giving everything for free all the time. Because these idiots, the US used to beg for money. The LDS now is begging for money. What do you think the other parties are going to do? They're going to follow the same thing, beg for money. And who's got the money? The Arabs. So now they have to kowtow to all the Arabs. And that's when you have these boats with these four engines on the back, these four big engines. When they go to St. Anne Marine Park, and then they race around as if they're as if they're jet skis. 2 people are in hospital. I don't know what's happened to them now because of those high-speed boats going around in the marine park. There's no law in this country anymore. The police force, police force, because I don't need to speak a lot about it. I just need to repeat what the women who was on a radio program said, that they did most of their training on the job, or they had to learn by themselves. That's why I'm saying we need to rebuild our police force, retrain our police force, so that they can learn the proper way how to enforce the law, and that they don't make mistakes. Okay, sir. But it's not fair for you to expect the police force to do on-the-job training. They've got to at least have 6 months in the academy or before they can put them on the road as cadets. And they must be marked as cadets. And they must go with a senior officer. Because all these things are bad habits being learned. The batlatet attitude. And that's why the deputy commissioner, I heard, I don't know if he's resigned or whatever, but Samem, because there's no law. It's, we're we're looking like Canada. Trudeau and Wavell are the same. What he says in his press lectures and what he said before, hypocrites. So they don't believe in what they're saying. But the people are believing in what they're saying. Nupep, believe in what Wavell says. Believe in what the LDS says. But they don't believe in what they're saying. They know they're talking the biggest load of bullshit. I'm not politically correct, so don't ask me to. But I care about this country. And that's why I'm telling you people, listen very closely. You can have all the big parties and all the little parties in the National Assembly. Bez met the National Assembly. Zissa. Met the National Assembly. Okay. And then an independent president. Now we will have more debates in this country. We will have debate. Policies will take longer to be agreed upon. Il passe this rubber stamp tous les autres. For 43 years, tu as rubber stamp. For 5 years, tu rubber stamp. Nous besoin zeta rubber stamp, man. Nous besoin servir l'esprit. We need new ideas. We need new vision. We need young people in the National Assembly. We need young people in the executive. You can't keep relying on these old cronies that we've got. It's not working. Ipamase, man. Because tourism is about our islands, Nupepsa, Nupeisa. And then Nupep, our people are in the way of this international tourism. Ipamas bien pour nous. because it doesn't get into the households of our Seychelles people, where they can B&B or rent a room out, you know, backpackers, all walks of life. People save up their money for a long time to come and for a 3-week holiday. But let them come and see Seychelles, not a problem. We're not backpackers, oh, because they camp. They will stay in guest houses. And if they have a campsite or something that is licensed and is fine, then maybe they can go there too. I don't know. But these are things we can look at, because campsites belong to a Seychua, and he can make some revenue from it, and he will build up his campsite. But this government, this globalist government, LDS, USOC, and the rest that are coming up, they're all globalists, Moju. They've all got their waiting for their little mchilas, their lemchi gato. I'm the only one I don't like globalism. I don't like New World Order, and I don't like the Weffies, and I don't like the young global leaders. The young global leaders now need to wash their hands of the World Economic Forum. Wash it and start thinking about the sovereignty of our country. Then you will be you'll be young leaders. Take away the globalism out. Just be young leaders. Et bien, on n'a pas problème avec ça. But divorce yourself from the World Economic Forum, the 2030 agenda, zete. Ipui, rotten. You know when the international, when they say, oh, we're having foreign investment, but foreign investment, we've got this beach here, which is beautiful, but nobody comes here because everybody knows it's dangerous and you can die and drown. But then they want to take the other beaches and then give you a little bait, so you go, pass, dankwe, là-bas, pass là-bas. And all these big hotels will take the front line. And now we become the problem in our own country. These international investors don't want local people around because they've got their own hotel image to keep up. But they don't want to train our staff. That's what I'm saying. The hotel school. They take away standards, sir. But that's not the fault of the students. That's the fault of the idea. Napa idea là. You know? So you get all these so-called international hotels to take over that's hotels training school, so that they can train our local staff and our local students to become 5-star level. Now we're talking. Now this is a give and take, empty give and take, sir. But these people in the government, they don't care about it. They're not interested in the benefits of the Seychelles people. They don't want Seychelles to have money in the bank because the New World Order doesn't want them to have it. You will own nothing and be happy is their slogan. My slogan is, let's make Seychelles unique again. Anu relève sa pays. Be proud of our own country. The tourists come to see us. We don't go to the hotels to see tourists. The tourists come here to understand our culture and our food. Look at the hotels when you go to the hotels there and you try and eat their local curry. Oh, it's got to be this, or they're lactose intolerance and this and that. Man, if you've got those kind of people, tell them to bring their own food and their cooks, because it's destroying the image of our cuisines and our culture for 1 or 2 people. If you can't eat the food, bring your own. But don't hinder our chefs and don't stop our chefs from putting out good food. You know, it's like the same thing I can say. You want our Seychelles people to go on the site, to go on the beach? Well, those people, those tourists that come here, there's 1 or 2 of a small fringe of them who come here who are allergic to this and that. Bring your own food. N'a pas problème avec ça. The reason I got into politics was because of the COVID. Moi, longtemps, when we first came to Seychelles, I was 11 years old. Mon grand-papa, mon grand-maman, paillettes, qui restait en l'air sans souci, Côte FIBA là. All the FIBA houses that are built there, the old FIBA houses. That was for mon grand-papa, ça. That was about 13, 14 acres. He built the road going there, the first roads. When he was young, he got on a boat and he went to Kenya and got a job, PWD or something like that. He built the roads in Kenya. Seselwa. All Seychelles, when they go overseas, they make a good job of themselves. You know? And then they come back with experience and knowledge. But it's not used. Because these government people, they think they know better. And there's this Seychelles investment bureaus and stuff like that. What do? They don't go in avec du monde, man. The banks vol du monde aussi. When a guy goes to a bank and he says, listen, I've got this, and I want to talk, and how can I repay my loan because I've only got the interest left. I'd like to do this. Il cause bien. And then over the phone, they say, we've cancelled, we've closed the loan. We've taken the balance out of your account. And that's it. No recourse, ni nai, eh? And then you try to get the licenses. Mopajizot. Le ou fe ou license ou no, not a license. Le ou fe ou empty business. All right? Le ou fe empty business ou jizot ou al licensing or whatever. And say, okay, more for whatever business. In the standard business, we'll fair a guideline, maybe 5 or 6 guidelines, even 5. The more it just gets complicated because the people who are implementing those guidelines don't understand them. It's like that when they les autres causer. You know? Because they did come to me, the inspectors. Les mots expliquent autres. And I said, what do you mean, I'm sorry, I didn't understand. But that's the level. Is their level. They don't understand. So we got to take the authority out of that. So it makes it easier for them. Because when entrepreneurs, n'a pas le temps pour causer avec ça, ban couillon, comme ça. All right? So what we have to do is we give out temporary licenses. Maybe it's for 3 months, or maybe it's for 6 months, but it's a temporary license. It doesn't stop the entrepreneur from doing his business because there's also things that he has to understand or she has to understand to make it even happen and to make it work better. And if it's held back by the licensing because they don't know what they are doing, Zot même pas connaît, they're telling you, you must do this. And then you go back and you say, I've done that. No, you must do this now. And then you do that. So you're just in the way of their peaceful tea breaks. Because they do nothing. And if they're doing nothing, it means that there's a backlog. And they can't catch up because they're playing solitaire on their blooming computers all day long. That was in the old days. I don't know about now. So, nous besoin relève sa pays. And we need to make Seychelles more proud of our own country and your own jobs. Because if you think you're doing it for the party or for what you believe in, or for your football team, not the party, for the football team that you support, whether it's a US football team or the LDS football team, you know, and you as supporters in these civil servant places, holding back so you can make your football team win. No, your country is losing. Upupeji World Cup zot. All right. Like I said, I'm a chef by trade. When you're in a big kitchen, when you're in a big kitchen, and you don't have all your head chefs in the different departments working together and organizing for the for a banquet, maybe in a big hotel, this one has got 500 people in one room. Then you've got another wedding over there for another 300-400 in that room. Then you've got conference meetings in that room. And then you've got your hotel guests in the main dining rooms. And how many dining rooms have they got in some of these big hotels? So everything has to be operated properly for the food to get out on time for the clients. So if the government is not working in sequence, how do you get the product to the people? NUPEP. Because they're paying tax as well. So when you go to a hotel and all that, you don't get free food, you pay for it. But you pay for the service too. So some jizot, civil status, civil servants. You're the waitresses and the waiters. You won't get tips, you won't get nothing if you don't work properly. Because you're letting down everybody. And you're letting down the client, you're letting down the people, the PEP, ou famille, ou cousin. And this party, ça même on dit party politics. C'est pas mal bien pour ça PEP. Pays, sorry. Ou PEP and the pays. C'est pas mal, c'est. You know? There's no vision for the people anymore. I'm the one that keeps talking about healthcare in this country. I'm the one that keeps telling you about the environment and the Minister of Agriculture and Global Warming. Look at all the creepers. Look at the way the land is. Look at the landscape. How badly it's kept. And the rivers. Look at all the plastic bottles and everything at Cascade. Why do people do that? Throw plastic? Ako napa place pour zetsa couillon? What's happening to nous Cécillois? Quem ganha avec nous Cécillois? Because they're all fed up. Bien? And then that's why they turn to drugs. And then they turn to alcohol. And then it gets worse. And then there's family abuse. Nous pepi vin pourri, man. If everybody had a job and if everybody had, this is what I was saying. There's a place for everything. You know, plus even cannabis, like I said. Let's legalize, decriminalize it, so we don't have people throwing in jail all the time. And then, on nous get bien qui nous qu'a fait avec sa cash crop, ça. You know? And if you want to go and Alwood Canel, no problem. But whilst we're looking for Canel, let's clean up the forest, you know? But what is the ministry of Mr. Joubert doing? Pas fait nada. Ministry of Education. Wavell goes to an independent school and gives out the awards. Great, I'm glad the students did that. But then, what is the problem to get all that same quality of education in all our schools? When I lived in Japan, all the schools basically had the same level up to high school. All of them had, some were strong in sports, but averagely most were all had to reach a certain standard. And that gave them the opportunity to get into the university they wanted to. And then they have crash schools. At night, after school, they went to crash school. I used to teach the kids English, simple English. You know, I wasn't a professor. That was one of my first jobs in Japan. I used to spray trucks as well in Japan whilst I was looking for some other thing that I liked. I did roofing. I got on the roof and with my Japanese workers and we put tiles on the roofs. Ichiru. I'm not afraid of work, but if you had to be at work every day, if you were late 1 or 2 days, they fired you. They didn't have to ask and write a letter to the employment because your responsibility is your own. When you get a job, it's your responsibility to take care of your job. And if you can't take care of your job, the people employing you don't want you. The employment agency makes everybody lazy. It's time to look at Seychelles in a better way and look at our people in a better way and uplift our Seychelles people. Give them the chances that they deserve. Puzotsa, Punupepsat. Because this is their island. This is our home. Sapu Numan. I've said enough for today. Oh yeah, and what I'm gonna announce it. I'll tell you now. My running mate Ben Lafontaine and I have decided that we're of course we're very good friends, but in our politics and stuff, we're not quite there. I think maybe in different departments he would be okay, but later on, that's for something later on to have a look at. But we will remain friends. I respect his family and everything, but just this one, it's not working out too well. His ideas, my ideas, uh, don't quite we don't quite see eye to eye, and I think we'd both be a distraction to each other rather than being a benefit to the people. So, as I say, I love him like a brother. He's a good person, good heart, good intentions, but um, it's for this at this time, uh, it's not working out very well. So uh, I said, let's just go our own ways, and maybe further down the road we can do something together, which I'm sure will come up. But as my vice president, I've asked him to give it a break for this, for these elections, and because I have a certain vision that I want to stay on, and it doesn't match with Banner at the moment. So, but anyway, thanks Banner for everything. I really appreciate what you've done, and I hope we can do something later on down the road. So take care, and thanks for watching, everybody. Have a great day. Bye.